All right, hello everybody. Again, welcome. Thanks for supporting the channel and being here, sharing ideas together. Um, as we go on with this journey, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of teaching, and we'll have a lot of materials to hopefully show and show examples with. But right now we're talking philosophy. This is philosophy part 2. And in this video, I would like to talk about freedom within limits. And what does that mean in a Montessori education, but also just what it means in all education for children. So I want to share sort of my experiences and what I've found works well. And obviously you can make adjustments and take what you want and leave what you don't. There's a lot of misconceptions about Montessori education, right? Tons of preschools all over the world you throw Montessori into their name, either in the name of their school or just into their curriculum explanation and stuff, and that's not usually a good thing that they use that name so freely, because there's a lot behind Montessori education. There's a lot of important points, and it is a whole way of teaching. It's not really what some people think. Some people think that Montessori education is where children get to choose what they do all the time. They think that Montessori education means it's completely play-based, that children just play throughout the day. So, there's that kind of thing that goes on in people's minds, and maybe, I know there are schools that can be like that more, but that's not really what Montessori means. As Montessorians do like the idea of some play-based learning, but that doesn't mean you just play all day. It means you kind of know when to get some work done and when to play, and finding that balance is a good practice for real life. We all need to play and we all need to work. So a Montessori classroom that's being run correctly, and again, even if you don't view your situation as being Montessorian, that's fine. But any educational system that's working well, there should be some sense of freedom and choice within limits for children. They can't just choose whatever they want. Again, my focus, I tend to think about like 5-year-olds to 10-year-olds generally in age, but this is true even with younger children and older children. But children, it's too much. Children don't like it, actually. They might say they do, but if you just say, here's the classroom, or here's this setting, do whatever you want, whatever you enjoy, they might like that for a day or two or a week, but at some point, they have problems often. At a young age, they need some level of structure. They want to be told sometimes, like, here, let's learn this, and let's work on this, and this would be a really important skill for you to have when you're 6 or 7 or 8. They're sponges. They want to be learning and to sort of be challenged. They maybe can't verbalize it like that, but they need to be challenged. And actually, a decent amount of structure plays very well into their sense of safety. Children and adults all learn better when they feel safe and secure. If they know what their expectations are any given day or week, they will do a lot better. They will have a lot more success with all the things that they're doing. If they're always wondering, what should I be doing? What should I be doing? Then they tend to have some negative behaviors and could develop negative sort of attitudes towards school or whatever, or maybe their social situation deteriorates. There's more issues. It's best for children to have a clear, reliable, consistent structure. But that doesn't mean they have no choice or freedom. So this has been my experience in my career. I've often used work record that's a weekly based work record in which the children write down some requirements on that work record. So, for example, in our school, in my classroom, I might say, we all need to do science this week. Well, that's great. They can write down science. They have to write down science. Everybody needs to do science. But they might choose the day they're doing it on. Maybe one child wants to do it Wednesday. Maybe one wants to do it Thursday. So they can write it on for those days. But even then, when they get to Wednesday or Thursday, say Wednesday, they have choice about when they do it. Maybe they think, oh, I kind of want to do my math first. I'll do my math, and then what did I sign up for language, and then I'll do this. And they kind of think through their choices on that day. So they can still get to that required work, but they're also getting to other things, and they're creating balance within their day. In fact, the process for thinking about this is fascinating and super important for young children, for them to have to start learning what it means to procrastinate, like what's the problem with that. So they might have a particularly hard math material they don't feel too certain about yet, and they're like, I'll do that Friday. Well, maybe they don't get it finished on Friday, and then it rolls over to the next week, or, they need a lot of teacher support or something like that, and it doesn't feel as good. So then maybe the next week they're like, oh, maybe I should do it a little bit earlier in the week. I'm going to start signing up for it on Thursday. And then there's all this nuance, like, well, if doing test tube division is hard for me, I think I want to make the rest of that day, I'm going to do it on Thursday. But the rest of that day, I'm going to make easier. I'm going to maybe make, maybe my language practice is ABC order. And my cultural work is parts of the fish. And so I'm going to choose easier works that day so that I have more time to focus on this hard math work. So as children get older, they get better and better at that. They get better at their time management. I've had a number of students come back to me in our school and say, the thing I learned the best was time management. So that's a great skill. And sometimes it's never quite perfect. They're learning. They're children, and it's okay. It's our job as teachers to support them. If we tell them exactly how to do their week all the time, they don't learn how to make those choices. It's not good for them. They don't have the adaptability and flexibility that they'll need as they go into middle school, high school, and become adults. They need some level of structure, and the younger they are, the more structure they need. So, a first grader needs to be told a little bit more. Or if they can't make good choices, you start writing things down for them on their work record and helping them structure all of that. Whereas a third grader, or maybe a fourth or fifth grader, a lot of them can probably do most of it on their own. Maybe you just look at their work record a little bit and make sure they're getting to everything and let them go, because they get their work done and they balance everything well. So that's kind of what you want as a teacher of young children, is you want to sort of foster them learning how to do that. You don't want to just force that structure completely. You want to guide them towards learning how to structure their own week that works for them best and that they have success with. So in Montessori education, it is a total misconception that children just do whatever they want or they just play all day. Maybe when they're 3, it feels a lot like that, maybe 4, but most of the years in Montessori education, it does not feel that way. They have things that they need to get to, and they feel good about it. They like to, just like you and I, they like to get their to-do list taken care of. They like to feel accomplished. It's a good feeling to get things done and to learn a lot. So that structure is a beautiful thing that children really benefit from. Thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe.